North Fork Armory. What's up, guys? Just wanted to do a follow-up on this Alien Gear Shapeshift system. Kind of a long-term review, so I've done one other since having it, which is at Brahmaland, and I love that holster for the 1911, but of course I'm still carrying the Glock 19, and that one sometimes, but you know, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Shapeshift, mainly from the quality side of things. So comfort, we've already covered, and I'll cover it a bit again. Wearing this inside the waistband is not uncomfortable at all, and it does conceal nicely. However, the thickness of this and kind of the boxiness of it, let me get up in here and see kind of all these sharp corners, does make it sit kind of funny in the pants, I feel like, for lack of a better term. So, you know, the older version, which I've shared with you guys many times, I actually gave that away to a friend of mine that needed a new holster. So, and he's using it now and he likes it. But that being just molded Kydex, it was very kind of smooth and it fit in better. So that being said, they shrunk the footprint this way instead of, you know, here it's here, but they made that thicker. So it's even more important to kind of buy a size up in your pants. So now that it's summertime, or getting to be summer, it's right at the end of May right now. We've got, you know, short season, and I wear cargo shorts a lot, and a lot of those are kind of baggier, and this is no problem. In the winter time, I wear jeans. Some of my jeans can be a little bit tighter, and this is more difficult to just get in there and kind of get feeling good. But other than that, it is comfortable. It does conceal. Long term, I had gotten the starter kit that has 4 carry options, and then I purchased an additional 2, the drop leg and the backpack. I used the backpack one that sits on the strap a couple of times out on a hike. Honestly, just it does its job, and that's the thing. But I didn't like the way it rode. It sticks out really far, and it kind of flops around a bit, and I really don't appreciate that. I want it to be more secure. I did not purchase the Molly attachment, and I feel like I would get the same result on that. You know, I have a chest rig, and it sticks out far, and I probably would not end up using it. So, luckily I didn't do that. And the same thing with the drop leg. Does it work as a drop leg holster? Absolutely it does. I've been out on the range, and I've, you know, doing some training drills and stuff, and I mean, it's there, it functions, but in all practicality, if I had to go out there and wear it, I absolutely could. I just don't like how far away from the body it sits. And it's kind of attached at a single point then, so it feels like it moves around a lot, and I would rather just be right up against my leg. So not comfort, but I guess mental comfort. I just don't appreciate it. So those things. But as far as comfort, so I haven't used the paddle holster or any of those things, but I am still using the inside the waistband, and occasionally I'll use this backer for the outside the waistband. I don't appendix carry. I've kind of tried it. It's still not me, but I'm way too big for that. So, a main concern that I had when buying the Shapeshift holster was build quality. Just because it looks different. There's no tools required, but that's because everything's held together with like these little twist lock things, and your clips can just kind of twist and come out. which had me really concerned. I have had nothing break. I've had nothing come apart. And as far as wearing, like, this holster is the primary holster that I wear all day, every day. Even when I get to places where I'm not allowed to carry and it would be very detrimental if I were caught, I still will leave my holster in and secure my firearm in the vehicle. So I'll wear the holster all day no matter what. And that way when I get back out to the car, I can just right back in and I'm good to go. So this is a breathable, neoprene-ish with some mesh stuff type of back. It is curved a little bit to the body shape now, which with, you know, a leather holster you would definitely expect. This is some type of leather-ish material on the front. I mean, so just really, the fact is, as far as the build quality, the one thing I was mainly concerned with, it's absolutely fine. I've had no problems. Versus like the old Alien gear that I had that was the all leather backer, your sweat guard here on that one was folded over. So kind of like Free Willy's fin, just kind of hanging over there like it was sick. And this, because it has spring steel right here and all the way up to here where the gun goes, that just stays in place. So I'm not trying to manipulate that back, the breech of the gun, pushing in, things like that. So I see no issues with the stitching, no tearing, nothing trying to like separate or pull away. Where the where this piece attaches, they've got some reinforcement in there, so I'm sure that probably helps an awful lot. As far as everything in here goes, I mean, everything's held up just fine. So if that's a concern, if that's keeping you from buying the Shapeshift, I would say don't worry about that. The build quality is absolutely there. I would say if you are a person that just carries in the waistband and that's what you're looking for, you can buy just this. You don't have to get the starter kit with everything else. And if you decide you want something else, you can. As far as meeting the needs go, so this is the other thing I wanted to address, does it really meet all of your needs? Yes? Ish. So, again, I feel like you can get a drop leg holster. Is it the best drop leg holster on the market? I don't think it is. But you do have that ability. So the flexibility that they promise is there. You can have the outside of the waistband holster. Is this by far and away the best OWB setup? No, but it is comfortable. You know, I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I was wearing this just yesterday while I was doing yard work. Mowing and weed eating and trimming up a tree and stuff like that. So, and again, it's got the spring steel in here and stuff as well. So it definitely works. It's definitely functional. I think this and the IWB are good. You know, I can see in the future them making some changes to improve this a little bit, like that bulkiness. That's really the problem that I have with it. And as far as any of the open carry positions, paddle, backpack, drop leg, I just don't like the way it sits off of the body too far. Again, just kind of personal thing. I want to feel much more secure than that. But as far as anything else goes, the only thing, and I'll pull this apart so you guys can see it. We'll see it on both of these. And as this may be something. So I don't mind holster wear on a gun sometimes. That adds a little character to me. But this, of course, mine is the Vickers Tactical, so it came Cerakoted, and we can see in here some wear. And that is happening right here. You can see it on that one, and you can even see it on this one that I don't wear very often, only occasionally. So if that's a big deal to you, that's a thing. It's not really a big deal to me. There's a little bit on the other corner where it slides into the plastic, but so I mean that's how it sits in there, and then but of course that softer piece is here, and that's where it's rubbed. So again, not a big deal to me at all. I don't mind it. I think that shows that a gun's been used and pulled in and out an awful lot. I mean, if I go to a range trip, I'm gonna holster and unholster. I mean, let's talk about the amount of use. So I've had this right at 6 months. Had a couple weeks, maybe a month, where I was primarily carrying the 1911 just to kind of test it out. But there were still times I was carrying this in that time. And both before and after, this is it. So when we think about it, I put this thing on in the morning, I holster it, I get to work, it's unholstered, I get back in the car, it's holstered. At some point in time after I get home, when I'm going to bed, I'm going to unholster it and put it away. And sometimes I change after work and go somewhere else, so there's at least another 2. So there's like 6 to 8 times each day that we're unholstering this thing. And when I go to the range, I may be doing that 20 or 30 times depending on what drills I'm running. So a little bit of holster wear in literally thousands of times over a 6-month period that I've done this. And I have adjusted that tension at times just to get it tighter, looser, like I kind of played with that. And zero signs of wear on the actual holster except for seeing the Cerakote kind of rubbed on there. I'd say the quality's there. So it's definitely held up. So still a fan of Alien Gear, still a fan of them as a company. Their products, again, all American made here in Idaho, all US sourced materials, which is great. Still a fan, good customer service, all around good company to deal with. Can they improve it? Absolutely. But I mean, it's pretty innovative, and for them to come out with this, I guess in the first place was pretty darn amazing, and then they'll make improvements down the road. That's how companies work. So for my 2 cents, Alien Gear is worth the money. However, if you don't actually use kind of all those different carry options, maybe scale back and save money. Otherwise, you're going to be like me and kind of have some parts floating around that you just flat out don't use. So that was my take on that. Well, everybody, stay safe and carry on.